Hey everyone, it's Glenn Ackerman, Energy Awareness Training, with my normal Sunday class. Joining me is my beloved little dog here named Mia. She wants to co-host. You know, she's a little shy around people, but she likes to co-host. Make eye contact. Say hi to everybody. Say hi to everybody. Say hi. Say hi. Anyway, I want to give her a little bit of exposure so that she gets over her stage fright. Okay, honey. So today, I want to talk about something that's really important for every human being that we were never trained on how to deal with. And really, that's the purpose of energy awareness training. Energy awareness training was created to educate us on the different energetic aspects of life. Now, you can say, well, everything's energy. That's true. Everything's energy, and you've heard me talk about that a lot. But today I want to talk about something really important and how I create energy awareness training, because there's so much in life that we weren't prepared for. You know, we went to school to learn grammar school and junior high and high school, and they taught us reading, writing, arithmetic. But that way that we grew up with was a linear way. And that's what I want to talk about. So the linear way in dealing with life is just to try to figure things out. A plus B equals C, right? You go to school, go to the next grade, get out of elementary school, go to junior high, high school, college, graduate. So there's these things that are in logical sequence. And so much of us being able to navigate this life is using our logic. Isn't that the number way we deal with life is in our logic? Well, you and I both know that life isn't always logical. Maybe half of it's logical, but the other half of it is illogical. And you have to use different tools and different understandings on dealing with the part of life that's not linear, it's nonlinear. And that includes feelings, emotions, affections, and energetic transitions. And you may have heard me talk about energetic transitions before, and that's in the scope of energy awareness training, which was created to identify the hidden energies that are affecting us that we don't even know, that shape our lives, that shape the outcome, the quality, and the value of our lives. And so much of the time, you know, people don't like where they're at. You know, I'm here and I wish I was over here. So there's a basic unrest, and energy awareness training identifies what those blockages are and shows you how to move them out to be able to create our ultimate goal, which is to end suffering and to create emotional and energetic freedom. And 95% of the suffering is in our head, is thinking about something that upsets us, thinking about this, thinking about that. Because at the root level, it's not all fear is a fear of feelings, fear of emotions. Because when we think about a certain thing, we get a feeling about it, right? You think about going on vacation, you get a feeling about it, right? You think about going to your favorite restaurant, you get a good feeling about it. You know, you think about, for some people, going to work Monday morning, they don't get a good feeling about it. Or the weekend's going to be over, not a good feeling about it, right? Or bills you got to pay, not a good feeling about it. So we have things that make us feel good. We have things that don't make us feel good. But whatever they are, they're accessing emotions, they're accessing feelings. And one of the reasons why procrastination is such a problem in our lives, we have things we know we should be doing, but we don't do them. Activities, Self-care things for us, we know good for us, and we don't do them. Exercise, maybe put off. Doing your energy, those of you who are energy awareness training students, doing your energy exercises every day, or someone else eating correctly, etc. So whenever there's something that we're procrastinating on, that means at some level we're generating a feeling or projecting a feeling that doesn't feel good. And this is what it means to be aware of your energy, because thoughts, emotions, and feelings are definitely energy. So this is what we mean by wanting to be able to be aware of these. So it's the feelings inside us that cause us either our greatest pleasure or our pain. It causes us either peace or suffering, is the feelings inside us. And as you've heard me mention before, there's high vibrational energy feelings and low vibration energy feelings. So we know the high vibrational energy, which is a throwback from what Nikola Tesla said. You know, for those of you who are new to this work, he says that everything in this world is an energy. That was coming from Einstein. And then Tesla mentioned that if you really want to understand the secrets of how this world operates, you'll start looking at things in terms of energy, frequency, and vibration. So what he was saying then is that whatever we're dealing with, it's all energy. You know, we're having an energetic exchange now. You had an energetic exchange this morning when you were asleep. Then you woke up. That's an energetic exchange. You had breakfast. You know, maybe some of you went out to services or went to the gym. It's all energy in motion. Emotion, energy in motion. So we have high vibration energy, emotions, the things that make us feel good, the things that make us happy, joyful, peaceful, loving, you know, the way we want to live. And we have low vibration energy feelings of anxiety, stress, worry, doubt, or fear that we don't like. So we're constantly navigating between these two feelings, and everything that we're doing in this life brings you on a feeling. Think about that for a second. Everything that we're doing in life, since everything we're doing is an energetic exchange, right? Whatever you're doing, it's an energetic exchange. You're dealing with energy. And energy has a power, a purpose, a frequency, a direction, and it gives off information. And that information, a lot of times, is a feeling. So let's say that you know, you gotta clean the garage. You let clutter go in the garage or in a room in your house. And you know you're going to get to it one day, but you keep putting it off because there's a feeling like, oh, I'm going to have to deal with this. It's going to take a lot of time. I'm going to have to sort through stuff I may not want to see. That's a feeling. And those feelings that come up direct our behavior and ultimately direct our lives. So this is why in energy awareness training, one of the things that we do is we look for these hidden energies that are operating and creating feelings that we don't like. And we learn how to neutralize them in the different methods and the techniques. We learn how to neutralize and let go and release and process this low vibration energy so it's not a problem anymore. And that's an important skill. It takes me more people go, why don't I go over it in the training? Because in the videos, because it takes training to learn how to do this. And it takes precision. So I have this going on probably in another video, but I'll cover a little. We have time at the end of this video. I'll show you some tools where you can do that. But remember, all we're doing is we're moving energy, and nothing changes until energy moves. So whatever the problem is specifically if it's an internal problem or an internal thing that's causing you stress or fear or any kind of low vibration energy emotion, that energy can be set free. That energy can be released. That energy can be neutralized so that you can focus on staying in a high vibratory realm. Okay, more on that in a little bit. I just want to make a shout out. We've got a lot of people joining us this morning. Hey, Dean. Hey, Alexa, Babar. Hey, Tony, were you with me? Luca. Great, glad you're here. Vivek, Marie is here. Beautiful. All you guys, appreciate you being here. If you could just put on the chat comment just hi and where you're from. It would really help me and would help get the broadcast over. So the more interaction that we have, the more the broadcast gets out to people. So I appreciate you saying hi and asking me any questions that you wanted to know about that. That'd be great. Okay, so I wanted to talk to you today about something very personal that has everything to do with energy awareness training. And that follows along what I was saying earlier about how we're not taught to deal with so many things. We're not taught how to deal with our emotions. We're not taught to deal with our feelings. We're not taught to deal with what do we do in stressful situations. You know, nobody needs any help when everything's going great, right? But when we're dealing with stressful or situations that challenge us or could upset us or take us into an uncomfortable place, what do we do then? No training on that. Well, this is what we do in energy awareness training. Energy awareness training trains you to how to deal with all the facets of life, and especially the challenging part of life. This is what energy awareness training does. It teaches you how to deal with the challenging part of life. And the way we deal with the challenging part of life is when we're energetically aware, we're constantly aware of the energy around outside of us, but more importantly, inside us. We're aware of the energy. We have thoughts every day. We have emotions. We have feelings. We have motivations. We have leanings. Now, most people operate in an automatic robotic consciousness. I got a thought. I got to obey it. I got an emotion. I got to feel it. I got an urge. I've got to obey it. So it's kind of like letting the body run the show. And you say, well, Glenn, well, who else is running it? What do you mean? Well, in energy awareness training, what you learn is that there are hidden forces that are trying to influence you to act a certain way, or to behave a certain way, or do things with a certain direction. Remember, I said in energy awareness training, all energy has a power, it has a purpose, it has a frequency and direction, it gives off information. So, to illustrate that, high vibration energy has a power. Yes, it's the strongest energy in the world. High vibrational energy can absolutely overpower and neutralize low vibration energy. So it's a power. There's a purpose. It's the purpose of high vibration energy, to lift us up, to help us recover, to heal whatever the stuff that or issues we're dealing with in this world, and to create us so that we can live our full potential self. Okay, that's the purpose. The frequency is a higher frequency, a frequency of not just directional, but consciously is in a higher place, not low level animal consciousness, but higher consciousness of the soul. So that's the direction that it's going in, and it gives off information. And the information in high vibration energy is oneness, kindness, love, expansion, feeling unlimited, feeling that you're in your truth, you're in your power, you're in full alignment with who you were created to be. It's the greatest feeling in the world, being in a high vibrational energy. So consequently, if under the law of duality, if there's a high vibration, there has to be what? A low vibration. And that low vibration energy wants to do just the opposite, wants to take us down, wants to take us into dark places of fear, worry, doubt, things that don't feel good. High vibration energy feel good, low vibration energy don't feel good. And we would prefer to stay in the high vibration, but we always kept being pulled into the low vibration energy. And you wonder why. Well, we explain that really clearly in energy awareness training, but exactly why. That's the purpose of that. So when you become energetically aware, as I'm hoping watching the video, so you're advancing in that area, you begin to see that your thoughts, your feelings, your emotions, and your behaviors, they're energies. And like Tesla said, they have a frequency and a vibration, and they give off information. So when you know that you're in a high vibration energy state, there's not much to it because that's your normal state. That's the state that you were created to be in. Feels good. But when you get pulled into a low vibration energy state, when you're not feeling good, when you got troubling thoughts or troubling feelings or stuff that doesn't make you feel good, that's what you want to notice too, because you're in charge of your energy. So when you become energetically aware, you notice, oh, just because I have a thought that says don't feel good doesn't mean I have to listen. Just because I have a thought that said, why don't you worry about what's going to happen next week? Doesn't mean I have to. Because there's a difference between me and my thoughts, feelings, and emotions and behaviors. You think, well, aren't they the same? No, they're not the same. How many times have you had a thought that was so whacked out and you went, wow, how could I think something like that? Where'd that come from? Such some whacked out thought, right? Was that you? Now, if you think it personally, you know, we all have whacked out thoughts of doing crazy things or thoughts pass our minds. You know, it's part of the thought process. But if you think that thought process is you, you think, oh, how can I have such a horrible, dark thought? What's wrong with me? And that thought brings on an energy, brings on an emotion, brings on a feeling. And when you get that the high vibration energy is trying to inspire you to go up, the low vibration energy is trying to de-inspire you to go down, you can step back and you can observe what's taking place. You can observe, interesting thought. I'm not my thoughts. I have thoughts, but I'm not my thoughts. And there's your freedom. When you recognize you're not a robot, just because you have a thought, you don't have to believe it. You know, I have a thought, oh, life's not worth living. Why don't I just give it all up and become homeless? What? That's not my thought. Why would I want to do that? How did it get in my head? You know, how do these crazy thoughts get into our head? They just come from somewhere. Well, in energy awareness training, we say that they are designed by these two energy forces to try to influence you to go a certain way. The high vibration wants you to go up. The low vibration energy wants you to go down. So this work is constantly about being aware of what the thoughts are and what the directions and the emotions, where they want to take you. Does that make sense to everybody? If that makes sense, give me a shout out on the chat to know that I'm communicating with you, because sometimes people have a challenge with me and my thoughts, and I'm not my thoughts, and I'm not my you have them, but you know, it's like you got a TV channel. You got a TV channel, and it's on channel 2. Well, that's the channel that it was on when you got the TV. Okay, you know what? You can change the channel. You don't have to be watching channel 2 all the time, especially if you don't like what's on channel 2, you switch the channel. And that's the same content in energy awareness training, learning how to, first of all, to observe not my thoughts, not my emotions, not my behaviors. Because haven't we all done dumb things in behavior-wise, especially when we were kids? You know, it made sense when you're 12 years old, you know, to go, you know, doing hijinks or pulling pranks or stuff like that. You don't do that when you get older because it doesn't make sense to do that, and you don't want to hurt anybody, right? But at the time, it made sense. Well, this is the independence that I intend everybody to have over your thoughts, feelings, and emotions, because we want to stay in the high vibrational energy. Now, remember I talked about energetic freedom. That's the ability to stay in high vibrational energy no matter what you're going through, okay? Energetic freedom is the ability to stay in high vibrational energy, happy, grateful, proactive, the ability to stay in alignment, not fall apart, no matter what you're dealing with. Okay, so as many of you know, this past week my father passed, and I loved him very much. And this is really the first process I went through of losing somebody that you know, losing a parent that I loved tremendously. Now, you know, as I was thinking about and observing the process, Okay, that's one of the things that when you talk about, losing people or people passing away, right? Nobody likes to talk about that. Hey, why? Because it gives us the emotion of ending, of over, of everything that we don't want to do, right? Talking about death. No one's talking about that. We want to talk about life. Yeah. You know what? Death is a part of life. And we're not schooled on this. No one talk. We never talk about it. Never talk about it. You very rarely see, elderly people around at restaurants. Once you get to a certain point, we don't want to hear about it anymore. And it kind of sometimes makes people feel uncomfortable, seeing an elderly person, being shuffling out the restaurant or something like that, because it reminds us, oh, okay, we're not going to be here forever. Well, a couple of lessons I wanted to share about this. First of all, I wasn't taught on how to deal with loss or grief or losing a parent, and you don't experience that until it happens to you. But it's going to happen to us all, and I knew that it's going to happen to us all, young, old. For you young guys, it's going to be years away. Love your mom and dad every chance you get. Just give them so much love. That's what I did. I knew, as my father got on in years, I knew that, well, you know what, the writing's on the wall at some point. And he was a healthy guy, and he lasted a long time, late 80s, early 90s. But I knew when he was getting up there that every time I saw him could be the last time. So I smothered him with love every time. And I knew the day was going to come. I didn't know when it was going to come, but I knew it's going to come next at times. And here's what I did, and hopefully can help a lot of people also. In the work that I do, we're constantly, part of our energetic process is the ability to let stuff go and to process. Even with something that's just as a breath. That's a symbol. I'm just letting go. So in energy awareness training, one of the things that we do is we identify the most difficult emotions that we're either afraid of or that have been running us for a long time. And we learn how to identify them, and we learn how to release them. So one of the biggest things people are afraid of, is, losing someone you love, funerals, death, all that stuff. Brings up weird emotions. But I'll tell you what, you've got to release the emotions around that now, or it'll suffer later. I'm watching a friend of mine now who is unfortunately not energetically trained, who put off, dealing with their own issues, and put off dealing with their own pain and their own moving through the evolution of the soul, I call it. Put it off. Good time. Okay. Well, if you're not energetically aware, you realize that, whatever you resist persists, and whatever you restrain, gets constrained sooner or later, because you can't bottle up energy. Energy's got to keep moving. Just like our circulation, you got to keep circulating. Energy's got to circulate. So he didn't deal with any of this stuff, even though I'd suggested over the years, and now it's all hit him kind of at once, and now he's dealing with it probably 10 times more intensely than he would have if he had learned energy awareness training. All right. Now, I know some of you guys, I didn't at the beginning of the broadcast show the flowers, so just wanted to show the flowers before we continue. Look at these orange roses. Incredible. The red roses, they're beautiful roses today. Roses, high vibration energy. Okay. So I talk to people about this, and this is the this is the power of energy awareness training, because you're prepared to deal with whatever comes your way from a place of proactivity, not reactivity. In other words, no, I can't take it. No. You're gonna have to deal with it sooner or later. How about coming from a place of strength, of calm, of presence, of love, of power in dealing with everything that you need to deal with? And that's the way I went in to deal with my father. He was holding for a while, and then 2 weeks ago, he went into the hospital. He had some kind of throat problem, and they had to do some work on him, and we were expecting him to come back home, and go into hospice. And he had another episode, and then he passed in the hospital. Now, I didn't get a chance to say goodbye to him this time, but I'll tell you what, last time I saw him was about 6 months ago. I said goodbye to him, and I knew this could be the last time. And I said goodbye to him, and I said everything I needed to say to him. Told him how much I loved him, how much I appreciated him. I thanked him for being my father. I said I was proud to be his son. I said thanks for the great example of everything you've given me. And I had a moment with him, and there was a completeness there. And then, like I was telling you, we deal with energy awareness training. I went through the process of letting go, of processing and releasing him, of recognizing at some point there's going to be a detachment. Now, for me, and for many of you, I think that the death or transition is just a passageway to the next level of energetic awareness. And that seems to be proven over and over again, at least evidence-wise, from people who have had near-death experiences, or people who have, like doctors. There's a great video on YouTube on a doctor that they see all kinds of amazing things in the operating room. People they think have passed, they come back to life. People who are supposed to be clinically dead, they come back and they can tell the doctor, what's on the lounge bulletin board, because they left their body and they're able to see things. This is a whole nother, probably fuel for another class. But when you're energetically aware, and you've let go of all fear, and you've let go of all anxiety about the future, about the next life, about the transition process, and you're at peace with the people that you love, especially your mom and dad, one day they're going to move on. You have to have peace of that. And with that peace, you can enjoy them more while they're here. That's the paradox. When you recognize that everything's fine, that even this beautiful flower, look at this thing, beautiful. I get it because it's beautiful now, and I know in 2 weeks it's going to be old and probably pass, probably throw it out. But it doesn't stop me from enjoying the beauty now. So in the process with my dad, when I heard what happened, I was prepared. I was emotionally prepared. I had gone through the release process of letting him go, of recognizing that he's not going to be in physical form anymore, and that he was going to the next level of transition, which we all go to, which it's his turn to go there. And as I continued to process and let go of those feelings, I felt a peace about it. And there was about a week transition before when he passed, and then when we had the service and the funeral. And I had to fly up to Seattle, which is where he lives with my sister, and deal with all that. And I'll tell you what, if you haven't gone through it before, there's a feeling that comes in. There's a feeling. And it's a shift in consciousness is what it is. It's a shift. It's an energetic and mental shift that takes place from the way you perceive someone in one dimension towards how you perceive them in the other. So So I was in the midst of being able to perceive my father in the energetic realm, in the energetic, non-physical dimensions. Okay, and I could feel there was something taking place, and there was a tug on my heart, and I could feel my soul stretching. And there were moments when I had compassion, and I felt deeply for everyone who ever lost somebody that they love. It was like a heart opening. And I flashed upon, services from people that I know. And I remember seeing replays of the Robert Kennedy funeral where, you had people lined up for blocks to come, pay their respects and come see him. And I recognized that that's a letting go. It's a transition period. Now, if you're energetically aware, you can go through that transition period and still stay at peace. Okay, I will admit, I wasn't jumping up and down like I normally do, celebrating being alive, which is what I do every day. Okay, during that time, I was a little bit more internal, but I never lost my happiness, and I never lost my connection to the divine, and I never lost my sense of sacredness and connection to my dad while he was going through this. And interestingly enough, they say that the soul hovers over the body for 3 days after it passes. And the third day, I was taking a nap, and sometimes I do that on the weekend, take a little nap. And when I woke up, I was awake, but I could feel a presence around me. I could feel, a presence. And I thought, wow, could this be Dad? And I said, Dad, if that's you, I love you. And the presence stayed, and then it went away. Wow. I've had similar things like that happen to me. So, I tended to think that that was my dad's energy. And I still feel him, and I still love him. But I was prepared for that. And I want you to be prepared for it. So that when the time comes, maybe a long time from now, you're going to move through this process. Now, I've seen people move through this process and have them fall apart, have them be wrecked. Some people never get over this process. There was a guy down the street from me, a fashion designer named Alexander McQueen. You might have heard of him. He had an up and down life, very successful what he did, very world-class designer. In his personal life, a lot of trauma, a lot of upset, a lot of addiction, a lot of function, etc. So what happened? His mother passed away, and he was very close to his mother over anybody else. And the grief was so strong and the feeling so deep that he took his own life 3 or 4 months later. Young guy, he's 35, I think he's 35, 40, something like that. What does that mean? That means that process of losing someone is so strong for some people that it's so much what I call low vibration energy of the pain. I'm alone. She's gone. What am I going to do now? I'm not loved. There's the last person in the world to love me. See, all of those feelings can pull you down into a low vibration energy form and compound and make things worse. So what happens is, and this is the key to today's class, whenever we go into any kind of loss or any kind of separation or breakup, what that does is, if you're not energetically aware and haven't done any cleaning on this, is it activates every single feeling that you got when you had previous breakups or previous loss. So, losing your dog, for example, or losing your grandpa, or losing the homecoming game in high school, whatever your big loss was, if that hasn't been cleaned and cleared out of your energy system, it's going to keep reactivating over and over again. And this is the power of energy awareness training, because you can get this stuff handled once and for all if you're doing the work. If you're not doing the work, then when it comes up, it's going to be painful, and it's going to remind you of stuff. And then whatever you're dealing with is going to be multiplied times 10. So when going through this process, the thing is that you can go through the process with clean energy. Clean energy means that there's nothing in your energy field but being fully present right here and right now. And that's what energetic freedom means. You've let go of all the historical stuff, what I call the historical low vibration energy, or the stuff that's been hounding you for a long time. You're free of that. You're clear of those issues. And that's the number one work we do in energy awareness training, learning how to clear low vibration energy out of your system. There's daily low vibration energy or daily stress. There's regularly occurring stress. And then there's historical stuff, the stuff that we come into this world with, the stuff that has been an issue for us our whole lives. That's our defining stress. And that has to be cleared. And when it is clear, and you're moving into a place of transition with someone, you can focus on high vibration energy. And that's what I did through this whole process. Even though I felt this presence, pulling me and having me go through the letting go of the transition period with my father, I stayed in high vibrational energy. Now, I didn't deny any of my feelings, but here's the thing. You don't have to feel bad when you go through something like this. So what did I do? People say, oh, don't you have a heart? Don't you have grief? Sure, I do. But I don't do it in low vibration energy, because low vibration energy will take all the feelings that you're feeling around losing someone or a breakup or something, and they'll compound it and turn it against you, which is the example of Alexander McQueen. Here the guy is, he's got he's very successful in business. He's a well-known reputation. A lot of people like him, definitely an achiever. But the energies that he had experienced from losing his mom were so dark and they were so deep. And they obviously activated other dark and deep memories and energies in him that he couldn't take it. And see, when you can't take it, that's when the low vibration energy has you. And then you're in so much low vibration energy dis-ease that the low vibration energy says, you don't want to go through this pain anymore. Why don't you let's get out of here. Let's just off yourself. Come on, let's go. And if you're not aware that you're not your thoughts, you have thoughts, but you're not your thoughts, you're not your behaviors, you behave different ways, but you're not that. They don't define you. And you're not your emotions. It's like you may be going through a town called Bug Tussle, California, population 16, but you don't have to stay there. You may be going through it, but you don't have to park there and go, okay, now I'm in Bug Tussle. What can I do? I'm in Bug Tussle. No, you just keep going. Even though you're passing by or you're experiencing a certain situation, you just keep going. And so that's what I did. And I went into it fully willing to be completely honest, fully willing to be, to go as dark and as deep as I needed to, but just to be transparent, because that's what high vibration energy is. It's transparent. It's in your truth. So I let the feelings, let it all come up. I let it come up. And what came up was a lot of good, was a lot of appreciation. What wanted to come up was this energy that wanted me to feel bad, that wanted me to take it personal, that wanted me to move into feelings and thoughts of helplessness, hopelessness, loneliness, lack. Don't want to go there, because that's the path to suffering. What I want to focus on is appreciation, of gratitude that this man was my father all these years, that he treated me so well, that he had such a good life, that I was so blessed to be his son. Man, that stuff feels good, right? And, I popped a couple of tears, if you saw the last video I did about moments after the service, I did a video because I wanted to share that with so many of you who knew my father, just that moment of real love and appreciation, having your soul bared and your heart open wide. So I think I did. I think I shared that with that. And if you haven't got a chance to see that, that's on my Facebook page. Some real in-depth presence. So what I learned is that what I learned and what I experienced reinforced me to take this message of energy awareness training out to the world, because we all are going to have to deal with these things, and we're not prepared to it. As I always say, saying, it's better to learn how to swim before you fall overboard and hit the water, right? So this is what we do in the training here. This is what I want to recognize you do. If you just learn tidbits from these videos, or you want to go ahead and study energy awareness training, which is the wise thing to do, at least you'll learn something. At least you'll learn something that whoa, I'm not my thoughts, I'm not my emotions, I'm not my feelings. And that no matter what happens to me, I don't have to be at the robotic effect of it. Okay, I can stand back and go, okay, this thing happened, and now whatever is said beyond that is going to create a belief or a spin or a direction, right? This thing happened, and it's an energy, and energy has a power, a purpose, a frequency, a direction, and it gives off information. So this is where you use your skills to be able to recognize that. So can I separate feeling bad from grieving from my father? And again, people might misinterpret that. They say, oh, are you repressing your feelings? Absolutely not. I'm bringing them up. I'm bringing up all the feelings that I have. But I'm recognize that whatever ones that I hold on to, whatever ones I allow, like a seed, a thought is a seed, and then the seed starts to grow into a plant and starts to bear fruit. So the thought or emotion is that seed that's going to create a direction. It's going to create a frequency. It's going to create an energy. Is that the energy I wanted? So I was careful this time to move through this period of great, in one sense, great loss and great letting go. And for that, I feel it, and for that, I feel the loss and the limitation. But the flip side is, I got to honor and celebrate an incredible person, and I got to be there and watch his transition into the next form of energy. And for all I know, he's looking back on me now, going, "Right on, Glenn, right on. That's it, man. That's the way it is." So that's the message that I want to give you guys. And I lead by example. Thank you for all the loving support that you've given me, around my dad and around our family. And I'm a happy man today. So you don't need to console me. I mean, I appreciate you mentioning it to me, but I'm in alignment now with this. Okay, so as I view it, I'm viewing it with respect and with honor and with grace, and I'm at one with my feelings, and I'm recognizing I'm being able to make this transition in high vibrational energy, not in low. People who make this transition in the low vibration energy are in pain, or in sorrow, or in wailing, or in bad shape. And that's okay. That's what some people do, but it's not necessary. It's not necessary for you. You ever notice that some people are never the same after they lose someone? I had a friend of mine's dad who I would go over to his house periodically, and he'd be sitting in a room with no lights on. It'd be like 8 o'clock at night, and I go, "How come you don't have any lights on?" And he said, "I'm thinking about my son that I lost. He lost his son tragically in his life." And he goes, "I wish I could bring him back." I said, yeah, I know. And he said, so if I feel bad, that's my way of showing that I love my son. What? You feeling bad shows you that your son, that you love them? I don't think so. But a lot of people think that. A lot of people think, oh, if I'm suffering, my loved one will know how much I miss them. No, wherever your loved one is, they want you to be happy. They want you to know that all is well. They want you to know that where they are one day, we'll be going to. And there's nothing to be afraid of, and there's nothing to be scared about, and that it's all good. That's what they want to tell you. And that's what I want to tell you in energy awareness training. When you really get how energy works, you know that our energy forms are limitless. There was no beginning and there's no end. So energy, especially as human beings, the energy shows up in this physical body. And it resides here for a certain amount of time. And then the energy leaves the body. The energy is still there. The body, there's a lot of different theories about what's going to happen to that, but it gets buried. But the energy lives on in a new form. It's the same thing with these flowers. This beautiful energy field here, you know, it's beautiful now. In a couple of weeks, it'll be old. But the seeds of this flower will create more flowers and create more beauty and more blessing. So that's what I want to give you today. Let me just check the chat here, see if anybody has any questions about what I'm talking about. Thank you. Appreciate you guys saying hi on the chat. Oh, you guys, Johnny, Joy, hey, Gus. Great post. Spoo's with us. Marilyn, hey, Bert. If you guys could just put a little chat, just say hi, or those of you who knew my dad, just say, hey, knew your pop. It's helpful. All right, so let me give you just a quick little exercise on how to just start releasing some energy. It's as simple, but I want you guys to have at least some kind of tool to be able to know how to release, because every day we get stressed. Every day we're dealing with something to worry about, because that's what life is, at least in this world. You got to worry about your bills. You got to worry about your health, worry about your family, about your job, about your livelihood, about the car running, right? About the roof overhead, etc. So being energetically aware means having the energy to be able to deal with these things in a place of strength, in a place of power. And instead of moving through the world like I used to move, like, oh, what's going to happen to me now? Oh, what's going to go wrong now? What emergency is coming up? I used to look for them because it used to happen so much. Now I don't. And you know what? They don't show up as much as possible. They still show up. Stuff still shows up, because as long as you're in this world and as long as you're a human being, you're going to deal with challenge. You're going to deal with stuff, because that's the energetic nature. We are energetic beings, and energetic nature is always expanding and creating a new form. It's always a new form. It's the same energy, but the energy creates a new form. And that's what makes life so interesting, in what particular form the energy is going to come into in our lives, and people, places, things, situations, outcomes, etc. All right, so let's do a little exercise, if you would. You guys interested in learning just a little brief technique on how to clear your energy? If you are, put it on the chat. Anybody interested in learning how to move their energy in a really cool way? Just mark yes. I am. Cool. All right. So for those of you who this is your first take on learning about anything about energy, I have a whole course about this. I have a whole YouTube channel, over 100 free videos on energy awareness training. I'm on Instagram, and I post these classes usually every week. So plenty of information out there for you to learn. All right, so let's close for a minute. And just be aware of your midsection around your belly button. Just notice how that feels. That's your gut. And our gut is the second brain. A lot going on down our gut. We process a lot of things in our gut. You've heard the term gut reaction. Okay. So what we want to do is we want to just breathe. And as we breathe, we're going to be breathing about taking energy up and letting it go out of us. So if I take a breath, big breath, big breath, big breath, hold, exhale. Getting all the air out, nice and loud, pause. That pause is important because we touch the silence and the stillness. So let's do some of these, okay? Tune into that area I call your center point between the bottom part of your spine, your belly button, just that area. Breathing from that area, okay? We're gonna breathe in through the nose, big breath, hold it for a moment, and then we're gonna exhale it, okay? And as simple as this is, it works and it moves energy. So here we go. Tune into your belly button. Imagine that your nose is there. And let's take a nice breath. Here we go. Inhale, breathe slowly through the nose. Big breath. Big breath, big breath, big breath, big breath. Hold. Exhale loudly through the mouth. That's right. Nice and loud. Good. Get all the air out. Pause for a moment. Let's do another breath. Inhale slowly through the nose. Inhale slowly. Big breath, big breath. Breathe low. Fill up the lungs with air. Hold. Exhale. That's right. Good. Get all the air out. Pause for a moment. Be still. Be aware. Let's take another breath. Imagine that your nose is around your belly button. Let's take an energetic breath. Breathe. Nice big breath, big breath, big breath, big breath. Hold. Exhale through the mouth. Get it all out, all out, all out. Good. Pause. Be still, be aware. Just hanging out in the silence for a few seconds. Good. Next breath, tune into your belly button, your center point. Imagine that your nose is there. Let's take a big breath. Breathe all the way down to your feet this time. Here we go. Breathe. Big breath, big breath, big breath, big breath, big breath. Hold and let go. Excellent. Excellent. Good. Pause for a moment. It's in the stillness that we get the benefits of this. Okay, a couple more. Be aware of your belly button. And let's take a breath through the nose here. Here we go. Breathe. Breathe low now. Big breath. Big breath, big breath, big breath, big breath. Hold. Exhale. Nice and regular. Get all the air out. Pause. Be still. Notice something's happening. There's a shift taking place inside you. That's right. A couple more. Tune in your belly button. Imagine that your nose is there. Let's take a big breath through the nose. Breathe all the way down to your feet. Here we go. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. That's right. One more. Inhale. Exhale. Good. Get all the air out. Pause. Be still. Be aware. Just feel the silence, the gap between the thoughts. Just let go of thinking. Notice you have thoughts. It's okay. Let the thoughts do what they want. We just want to be in silence and stillness for 1 minute. Here we go. Keep breathing. That's right. That's right. Can you feel the expansion? Can you feel the peace? And that's just with a handful. You do this 10 times. 10 times is good. 15 times is better. 20 times is the best. But start with 10. And you're just learning to use your breath as a friend on a regular basis. We automatically breathe as part of our automatic nervous system. But to breathe with intention, I call it the formula of 5. Focus, intention, visualization moves the energy. So this is what I did throughout the time I was up in Seattle dealing, with the process of letting go with my father. Just kept the breath going. Something came and a feeling came, a memory came. Thought, you're never going to see your father again. Just breathe that in. But I know he's in a better place. Do you remember how good he was when you were a little kid and he played baseball with you? I do. And that memory makes me feel good. Makes me honor him. So everywhere I look at this, I'm in high vibrational energy. Oh, it's so sad that he had to go. Yeah, but it was his time. And he was at peace and I'm at peace. So there's an answer for everything. And that's true what it is in your own life, not just, this is a heavy subject, losing a parent. But in everyday life, just the way this works energetically inside us, excuse me, the way this works energetically inside us is that we have circuits. We're an electrical circuit board. And sometimes circuits get activated. So do you ever have a moment where you get a flash of terror or a flash of uh-oh or a flash of scared? It's just a flash. It's just an energy circuit that's still in there that hasn't been disconnected. So this is what we do, and you can start that with the energetic breath. Now, of course, there's goes a lot more into that, but that's something you can start today. So learning how to take even those 10 breaths in synchronization. It's the inhale, the pause, the exhale. It's that regularity of doing that 10 times, 12 times, 20 times. The more you do that, it relaxes you because it's getting not only oxygen, but it's getting life force energy through your whole body. And as the more you do that, the more you master that breath, the quieter the mind gets. And that's what we all want. We all want a quiet mind. My mind's quiet right now talking to you because I worked it enough so that I'd let go of the superfluous chatter. And that's what you want to do. This thought maniac, the monkey maniac inside your head, this going, what about this? What about that? What about this? Maybe we should feel bad about this. Maybe we should be scared about that. You very rarely hear a thought that says, hey, I should feel good about this. I should feel empowered about this. No, it's usually just the opposite. But if we want those empowering thoughts, we've got to put them in. If we want thoughts that make us feel loved and make us feel powerful, make us feel strong, we've got to put them in. I ask myself the question every morning, how do I want to feel today? How do I want to feel today? That's my opportunity to create the direction of my thoughts, feelings, and emotions. In other words, to be able to create where my energy is going. So I think I want to feel great. I want to feel happy. I want to feel joyful. I want to feel in love with life. I want to feel prosperous. I want to feel strong and certain. Great. Breathe it in. And the more you associate with those thoughts and feelings, and the more you install them in your energy system, the more likely it is that's going to be the way it is. Now, that's a difference from affirmations. It's not affirmations. You're installing an energy frequency in your body. That's what you're doing when you do that. And when you learn how to install the frequencies that you do want, you can stay out of the frequencies that you don't want. And that's called energetic freedom. So that inside of you, which is your energetic body, it's always sunny, or it's always clear at least. You know, some days the sun's going to shine brighter than others, but it can always be clear if you're energetically trained and energetically aware. Okay, so I hope that helps. I'm going to take one more scroll through. Appreciate you guys being here. If you just get on the chat, just write a comment. You liked the class, you didn't like the class, you learned something, you didn't learn something, you knew my father, you didn't, anything you can put on the comment just as a reach out. I'd appreciate hearing from you. And so thank you again for all the support and love that you gave me through this challenge. And I'm here for you too. And this is what energy awareness training is all about. It's here to assist people in being energetically, being able to handle anything that comes through in life, and to be able to stay in a high vibratory place. Okay, it's Glenn Ackerman, Energy Awareness Training, wishing you a happy and blessed day. Bye for now.